I like about your work, both of you actually, is that you kind of make us humans take a role that we couldn't get otherwise. I feel that sometimes it's best to tell a story using a way to make humans become something that they couldn't otherwise experience. Is that how you see your work as well? Is that the way you understand it as well?
We did a project called Tree,
Yes.
and you get to embody a tree in a rainforest. And we thought that at this point in time, there is no other medium that you can become a tree. And
Right.
So you grow from the seed, and when you look at your body, it's a seed that you go pierce through the ground, you get branches, your arms are branches, and your body is a trunk. And we also played with the external sensory elements, like haptics, smell, like vibrating floors, so you feel that growth in your body, as well as you can smell it. And also we have wind, and then you can feel the warmth of the sun. So we did like as much as we could to really try to place you into a body of a tree so that you can witness what's happening in rainforests, unfortunately, today, and how we as humans are destroying them, actually.
Because that message we've heard before, but then never that way. We've heard that, the rainforest is in danger, that we should take care of it, and that we should do something about it. But we've never actually became a tree to understand it. Does becoming something that we could never become actually change the message itself, do you feel?
Of course.
Yeah?
That's I think
That's the whole point?
that's the whole point. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
And is a transformative experience. Becoming someone else is not just having a 5 minutes of your life in a different someone else's shoes, but also seeding some memories in you that you can actually relate afterwards. So what we found out throughout few projects we've been doing last few years was actually the effects afterwards is way more long lasting than any other transformative experience. So the Tree Hugger project, when we launched in South Bank Centre in London, it was an experience. People went through a sequoia tree and embodied a water droplet being sucked by the roots, pump up to the canopy, and they saw the transpiration, which every sequoia, every tree does, in a molecular level. But the interesting thing was, like, it was quite an abstract journey, that the overall message wasn't, oh right, go to Sequoia Park now. But with one difference is because we don't have any reference how trees live, what's going on inside. Like, we know they're sucking water, but we've never seen it.
How it happens.
How that happens. We only care things when we can relate to them. So if you can create an experience that you can embody a tree or embody an animal, you become more aware of the situation. And if you want to create this feeling, human perception kind of expanding in a way that cares more, I think virtual reality or mixed reality is an incredible tool to do that.
You said something interesting earlier in your panel. You said you're using multi-sensory ways to enhance basic human senses. It sounds to me like it's something like transhumanism. It's like taking basic human senses and augmenting them, like making them bigger, better to bring in the story.
Well,
would that be a way to present it?
We've got a limited amount of feelings in reality based on the stimuli that is generated in our brain through our senses that we take granted. But the moment we start meshing them up, hacking, and then trying different ways of kind of conveying
You've
those
used
things.
that word a lot today, hacking.
Because I think that's where it's at. We take it so granted, and we think reality is this, and we think our reference points are fixed and static, but they are constantly shifting. And with a group of tools that we use to create those experiences, it's the perfect medium to actually hack them and then show you another feeling that you were not expecting, and maybe your emotional horizon just gets expanded afterwards.
How much more can we get to perceive more feelings with these multi-sensory experience? Where can we take that?
We as humans are starting to become more numb and immune, And I think that the virtual reality, but also art itself is trying to evoke those emotions. And kind of like it puts you in that situation, you become vulnerable. You almost don't have where to go. You know, we almost force you to be there in that forest. And then you start, you know, you don't see anyone around you, and you start really believing. We have people who, when we lift you up to the highest point in the rainforest, because you're becoming the tallest tree,
right.
kapok tree in our experience, a lot of people actually start thinking they're going to fall down. They forget that they're on the real ground. They start screaming, and we actually have to hold them. So basically, we convince you so much that you forget about yourself, your body, because you don't see yourself as you know, in real life. And you almost surrender, and that's when your feelings come. So I do think these are the real feelings you feel. You just didn't let them earlier, you know.
For the first time, there's a medium there that asks you to, but obviously this is like suspension of disbelief, but asks you to give entire attention you have, including your body, your eyes, your ears, your skin, and more. So, and we are voluntarily doing this. And like we become, you know, numb to things as we see them more. Like, you know, the audience that was running away from train became this, you know, cinema junkies. But it's a different thing because we got used to. VR is like very early, or mixed reality in general, in that phase. So it can actually work like a shaker to, you know, shake our snow globe and just like, whoa, what is reality? And we start asking those questions. Like every development in technology brings us to places that we start asking some questions to move forward. And probably, I can't say this is the destination now, what's going on, it's really early what we are talking about. But now, finally, we are talking about senses more than 5. Finally, we are talking about what is reality, what is perceived reality. How do I feel if I put those things around someone, or what they would feel? I think it's a healthy conversation to have, and really early. So
yeah.
Other experiences, and many experiences in VR, I feel that you leave with something very, you know, that's very strong, and that's often linked to like a negative feeling sometimes. Whereas I feel that your work has a more positive, like kind of poetry to it. You know, is that a conscious twist that you want to bring to the table?
yes, I mean, I suppose the psychedelic aspect of our work in general is something to do with that. But the most surprising thing for me was people, it's like there's this emotion meter going up there, like immersed in this space, this beautiful, blah, 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 tips over, they start crying. It's like, why are you crying? It's like this super colorful environment. We are not saying anything. Music is not dramatic. It's just like, but I suppose it's like, we have it in us. It's just like, if you get this joy to that level, you just flip over. Same with the message probably conveys in your piece as well. It's just like this strong, beautiful feeling you are going down, and then one thing, one smell just gets you over, and then it's not about the piece itself anymore. It's about the memories of that piece, because whether you feel connected to an animal, or you feel connected to a forest somewhere there that is, you know, in fire or in danger, what makes you actually emotionally kind of unstable, I would say, or like feeling sad about it. Yeah, I think there's something there that's, it's not just the piece itself, but the context and where it takes you and how you connect to different things through it makes it, I think, powerful, but also without being too dramatic,
Right.
As a framework.
Right.